Have you ever read an entire book, felt like you understood it, and then the next day, it's completely gone from your brain? Or maybe you spend hours studying for a test, only to forget everything right when you need it most? It's frustrating. It feels like no matter how much you read, your brain just refuses to hold on to the information. But what if I told you there are simple tricks that can rewire your brain to store and recall information effortlessly? Whether you're studying for exams, learning a new skill, or just trying to retain more from the books you read, these 7 powerful memory hacks will change the way you learn forever. And trust me, hack number 7 is a game changer. Once you start using it, you'll never struggle with memory again. Let's get into it. Hack number 1, the curiosity effect. Most people make a huge mistake before they even start reading. They treat books like a passive activity. Your brain isn't designed to just absorb words. It needs a reason to care. Here's the trick. Before you start reading, ask yourself a question. Let's say you're reading a book about psychology. Instead of just flipping through the pages, ask yourself, why do people make irrational decisions? What makes a great leader? The moment you ask a question, your brain switches to detective mode. It starts actively searching for answers, which makes the information stick. It's like when you hear a song but can't remember the name. You suddenly become obsessed with figuring it out. That's exactly how your brain works with memory. The more curious you are, the more you'll remember. Try this before your next study session, and you'll see the difference instantly. Hack number 2, active recall. Most people read and reread their notes, thinking it helps, but your brain is lazy. If you don't force it to retrieve information, it won't store it properly. Here's what you do. After reading a chapter, close the book and try to recall the main ideas. Don't just skim over it again. Actually test yourself. You can write down what you remember, say it out loud, or even explain it to an imaginary student. The key is forcing your brain to work. Every time you struggle to remember something, your brain strengthens the memory. Think of it like going to the gym. Lifting heavy weights is uncomfortable, but that's what builds muscle. The same applies to your memory. So next time you study, don't just highlight and reread. Test yourself. Hack number 3, spaced repetition. If you've ever crammed for a test, you probably remembered everything for a day, but after that, gone. That's because your brain forgets things fast, unless you remind it at the right time. Instead of cramming everything in one night, spread it out. Here's the formula. Study today, review after 1 day, review again after 3 days, then a week later. Each time you review, the memory becomes stronger and lasts longer. There are even apps like Anki and Quizlet that help automate this process. So instead of pulling an all-nighter, space out your learning. You'll remember way more with way less effort. Hack number 4, the memory palace. This is a powerful trick used by memory champions, and once you try it, you'll see why. Here's how it works. Imagine a place you know really well, like your house. Now, place the information you need to remember inside that place. For example, if you're memorizing historical events, visualize each event as an object in your living room. Maybe the Declaration of Independence is a giant, glowing document sitting on your couch, or Einstein is standing in your kitchen writing E=mc² on the fridge. When you need to recall the information, just walk through your house in your mind. This works because your brain remembers locations better than random facts. Try it with anything, lists, formulas, speeches. It's crazy effective. Hack number 5, chunking. Your brain can only hold about 7 pieces of information at a time. That's why memorizing long lists is so hard. But here's the trick. Group related ideas together. For example, instead of memorizing 20 historical dates separately, group them by decade. Or if you're learning a new language, don't just memorize random words. Group them into categories like food, travel, emotions. The more you chunk information, the easier it is to store and retrieve. Try it next time you're overwhelmed with too much to memorize. It works like magic. Hack number 6, the emotion hack. Ever wonder why you still remember embarrassing moments from years ago, but forget what you read last night? It's because your brain prioritizes emotional experiences. So if you want to remember something, attach an emotion to it. Let's say you're studying business strategies. Don't just read dry facts. Imagine yourself actually using them in real life. If you're reading about psychology, think about how it applies to your relationships. The more personal and emotional something feels, the deeper it sticks. And finally, hack number 7, the one that will change everything, teaching. The best way to lock in knowledge isn't to just read it, it's to teach it. After you finish learning something, Take 5 minutes to explain it to someone else. Teach an invisible student. Or even better, record yourself explaining it, then listen back. When you teach, your brain has to reorganize the information, which makes it stick like glue. So after this video, pick one thing you learned and teach it out loud. You'll be shocked at how much better you remember it. If you use even one of these hacks, you'll notice a huge improvement in how fast you memorize things. Now, I want to know, which hack are you going to try first? Drop a comment below. And if you found this helpful, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because trust me, this is just the beginning. See you in the next one.